move on to number 5.
Alright, my number 5 is Villamasta.
Oh, Villamasta, he's cool.
He's like one of the first Spectrobes you can dig up in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically a giant bipedal samurai rhinoceros beetle.
He is Heracross slash Kabuterimon
With the
slash
samurai motif.
yeah.
And he's so fucking cool. I wish he came back in the 3rd one.
Yeah. And like he's also one of the yeah, cause in Beyond the Portals you first start off with Komonoto and like the crab
Harumite.
thing. Yeah, Harumite, and then the scientist guy wants to do some studies with Harumite, so he gives you a Villamasta.
Yeah. And I was like, deal.
Yeah.
Fucking, I want this guy.
Yeah, and his evolved form from Velanox is also pretty cool.
Yeah, I also really like Velanox. He goes from... Because Velamask is a close range fighter. And then Velanox is a long range. His horn he basically turns into a tank.
Yeah, he becomes a beetle tank on legs.
Yeah, and so he becomes a long range fighter. And I really like him, but I really like him as well. But the thing that puts Villamasta ahead of him for me is his name.
Yeah.
When I first evolved my Velar, I was like, Villamasta. I spent the next 3 days just going, Villamasta. And then when I found... And then when I found a custom part for him, he became... His name is like official name. Like when you can get custom parts for Spectrobes, and if you put a custom part on it, then they get like a little add-on to the end of their name. The custom part I gave him changed his name to Villamasta Thrusta.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck yeah. And I never evolved him because his name was awesome.
Yep. But yeah, alright. My number 5 is another really awesome Spectrobe from the first 2 games that was sadly omitted from the other games. That is a Masaccio. Ooh. And Masaccio is essentially his wiki description describes him as a superior guardian Spectrobe. Like he's got this awesome like dinosaur like head on and he wears like samurai armor, has these big crystals coming out of his shoulders. And he shoots like his database description in Spectrobe is really cool. It's like Masaccio is a superior guardian Spectrobe. He can accurately fire deadly long-range beams from both arms. He is very loyal and dutifully he obeys all commands. So it's like he's like the ultimate soldier.
Yeah.
Plus he's got a badass design and shoots lasers from his arms.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be honest, I never actually got Masaccio because his first 2 forms kind of didn't do it for me.
Yeah, like I like
apes.
Yeah, I like Masaccio. I think Masaccio is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Because he's just like he's got these little tiny arms on these big giant shoulders.
Yeah, he's pretty cute. But then
he's
like.
Yeah, Masaccio he's weird looking.
Yeah.
And not necessarily in the good way. But
Masaccio
it's another one of those transitions that like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but holy cow, is it awesome?
Oh yeah.
Because he's like I said, for one thing, he's got a dinosaur head.
Yeah.
And yeah, that does a lot for me. He's covered in crystals, which reminds me a lot of Space Godzilla.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yep. And it's just like he's just like really cool. Like he was
soldier.
Yep. He was one of my go-to Aurora Spectrobes when I beat Beyond the Portals. And I'm very sad that he didn't make it into the the game on the Wii, Origins.
Yeah. He would have been awesome in 3D.
Yeah.
Or, I guess he was already kind of in 3D, but you know.
Yeah, like
awesome.
in the, yeah.
Big screen.
Yeah. I mean, and also his like official artwork looks really cool because he's like crouching down. It's got like one of it is like a hands like clenched into a fist, and you got the other one like
your ass.
Yeah.
God damn, he's cool. All right.
And his I also want to like give a minor honorable mention. Like one of the points that they included in Beyond the Portals was dark Spectrobes.
Yeah.
Those which were essentially like dark, evil-looking versions of the Drobes. Like Rydrake had one, Spikon had one, and then Masatosu also had one called Sametosu.
Yeah, their names are like sort of jumbled
Like,
up a bit when they're dark.
Yeah, like Spikon was Pinska.
Rydrake was Zyre Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Masatosu and Sametosu also looks really cool. But I just like Masatosu more just because he's like a pure guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So massive, just gonna shift gear here. We're gonna bring it down from the badass to the super adorable with Sabo.
Oh, Sabo.
Is the cutest Spectrobe ever, in my opinion. The cutest plant I have ever seen. He's a little cactus lizard face, most adorable motherfucker in the game.
Yeah.
And he's, whenever I play Origins, like he's my search guy. I don't care if he's not the best one for searching. He is my go-to. Now and forever, Sabo will be my search Spectro because he's so adorable, and I can never wait until the part where I get to play as this little bundle of prickly love because he's so cute.
Yeah, I'd hug him if
he wasn't a cactus.
Yeah, and I just want to get like, yeah, Sabo is absolutely adorable, and you'd never think that it would turn into Sabo Quill.
Yeah, which is
this like terrifying badass cactus dragon.
Yeah. Also, Sabo's database entry is also adorable. This little dream maker aims to become a hero someday.
Oh. He's like Bagon.
Yeah. Who I also love. So this so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty damn adorable. Like because he's got like these little tiny front legs and then these big old back legs.
And his front legs just dangle there. Like he doesn't even really use them. They like bounce about when he hops. He's so cute.
Yeah, he's adorable, and he's got a little cactus spine for a nose.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Vmon.
Oh yeah.
He had one of those.
He did. I'm not a fan of Vmon, but that's not going to affect my view of Sabo.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so moving from the absolutely adorable back to the incredibly badass, we have Choco Blood.
Dude.
So, Choco Blood, like, the entire, like, Shekel line is really cool. Like, Shekel is like a little tiny fish sword. Like, you look at him and he's just kind of a sword. Or with, like, it's got, like, scales and fins. Then it turns into Shakor, who is, like, this big, terrifying shark thing with a big old blade coming out of his face.
It's like a narwhal, but with a knife instead of a horn.
Yeah. And then he turns into Choco Blood, a giant ocean dragon with a big old cleaver coming out of his face and a knife on the end of his tail.
He is badass.
Yeah. Like, it's just this big purple death dragon. Like, he's not super fast, and it's like he was a... And it's just because he's got this big old blade that kind of hinders his attacks.
Yeah. But it also helps his attacks.
Get given.
Fucking just drops his head like a guillotine.
Yeah. And, you know, it makes sense. You know, he was a flash Spectrobe in the first 2 games, and then a water Spectrobe because he's a big old ocean dragon.
Yeah.
And it's just like... Yep.
Of death.
Yep, and it's just... And it's just like, to think that the tiny, adorable Choco came from... it turned into this.
Yeah. I like the idea of, I think his name is Shocken, actually.
Shaken? I don't know. Yeah, either way.
Yeah,
Shaken. One of those.
Yeah, I like the idea of grabbing Shocken by his, like, handle tail and using him as a weapon.
Yeah. You have a Shaken in one hand and a Honedge in the other.
I have a ghost and a fish, and I'm not afraid to use them.
Yep. Yeah, like, he is just... And it's funny because, like, in his, like, movement animation, like, he, like, is floating above the ground.
Well, it even says in his database that he can fly, doesn't it?
Let's see. Yeah. Shekel Blood has a bladed tail and head. He looks like a water dragon and sails effortlessly through the sky. He has excellent attack range and easily defeats lesser enemies.
In all 3 games, it says he sails through the air.
Yeah.
That is that's exactly what they say. Sails through the air. Sails through the air. Sails through the air.
Yep. And his Spectrobes origins thing, like, you know, this bladed dragon-like warrior sails through the air, chopping enemies to bits when angry. And it's like, but it brings up that, like in his original game database, that he has excellent attack range. It makes sense because he's got this big long neck of his
and a big long blade.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of range despite being a melee fighter.
Yeah.
Obviously, not as much range as the likes of Grilled Dragos or Masaccio, which are
like Villainox, yeah.
Yeah, which are ranged fighters, but still.
Still, he's got good range for a melee fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He also doesn't have as good range as my number 3, which is well, the entire line really, but Rapagu from Origins.
Ah.
The wooden... I don't even know what he is. He's like a turtle dinosaur with cannons on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is actually, I think, the only one of the few on here where where I have the entire line here, not just one of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, the child form Dongu is adorable. I really liked using Rapagu a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like his design as much as I like Daidongu's design.
Oh, Daidongu, I'm looking at him now.
Is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, he's a he's obviously a plant property Spectrobe, and
most of my favorite Spectrobes to use are either really bulky heavy hitters or they're long range attackers.
Yeah,
and this guy's both.
Yeah, he's a bulky, heavy hitting, long range attacker.
So he's right up my alley.
Yep.
He's still only number 3 though.
Yep. I love this. I love his description. This kind bird lover turns fearsome when attacking with a volley of hard nuts. Oh, the innuendo.
Suck these nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, they
explode.
Yeah, he's got like stump cannons on his shoulders that fire nuts.
Yep. He's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his cry is cool.
Yeah. Oh. It won't let me listen to, oh, well, maybe. Will it let me listen to it? Let's see. Because the wiki has, like, little things where you can listen to the cry.
Yeah. He kind of sounds like a Godzilla monster / tuba.
Godzilla monster / tuba.
Yep.
I like it. Alright. So, my number 3 actually falls in a very similar vein of Choco Blood. It is Geeky Mugan, whereas Choco Blood was a giant and water dragon, and with a giant blade on his face, Geeky Mugan is a giant T-Rex Velociraptor with 3 giant blades on his face
and 1 on his butt.
Yeah, and that whole line, like when I first got when I first got Mugan and he was like a little star, is like I had no idea what he was gonna turn into. Like he was a
star ninja.
Yeah, he's a literal ninja star, not like a throwing star. He's a literal ninja star. And then it's like, all right, I'll evolve him, see what happens. And then he turns into Cho Mugan, who is a Velociraptor with a blade on, with a like a scythe.
For a tail.
Yeah, and he attacks by doing front flips into the enemy. And it is just like, I love this thing. I have to see what it evolves into. And then it becomes Geeky Mugan. And while he loses quite a bit of speed because of all the blades and his huskier design,
he's still very cool.
Yeah, and he hits like a truck. Like, and it's like and he also like retains Mugan's got is literally a star, and his 2 evolved forms have stars for faces. Yeah. And it's just, yeah.
Wise database entry. With a bladed body, this warrior is strong in battle, but tends to be quite bold.
Oh.
Because he's made of knives.
So he can't,
He can't love.
Yeah.
He can't afford to love.
Or else he would kill someone.
I just want to hug him.
Yeah.
I can't.
You're a steel type.
God damn
it. You'll probably be fine. But yeah, it's just because he's got blade. He's on this giant blade on his face. These 2 blades coming out of the side of his face. A blade on the top of his head. And then a big old sword for his tail. And I also like whenever you got a Spectrobe, it was never in its default color in Beyond the Portals. Like it was always in one of its alternate colors. And Geeky Mugan's default alternate color that you got when you got it was this really deep purple. Oh, looked really cool, which I actually prefer over his regular colors, which is a blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ninja dinosaur or sword man. Very awesome. I love it. Yeah.
Alright, so we're at number 2 now. And my number 2 is Choco Blood.
Ah.
Look at that. We got the... Yeah.
Yeah, Maya Rex. We both had Maya Rex, and we both had Shekel Blood.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like we already said, he's a fucking plesiosaur with swords everywhere. He's fucking awesome. I use him basically. He's been in all 3 games. I've used him in all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
and luckily in all 3 games you can get him pretty early on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the few Eobassa or Spycon, and maybe a few others that have managed to make their way into all 3 games, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just fucking awesome. Easy to get and fun to use.
Yep.
Right.
Not super fast. Hits like a dump truck, covered in swords.
Yeah. I think we said all we can about Choco Blood.
Yeah. Yeah. So my number 2 is one of the few Corona, technically the only Corona Spectrobe on this. I assume if Totsu's in that line and we're in one of the other games, they would also be Corona. But yeah, the only actual Corona Spectrobe on this list is the Mesa line. And which
Oh,
it starts off.
That's the little Aztec dudes? No, it's not.
No, that's Maya.
Right. So
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna pick this guy too. I don't know why I'm fucking.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
continue.
yeah, it starts off with Mesa, who's like this little like. He looks like a mix between a dinosaur and a Doberman. And like he's got like a very like guard dog kind of looking thing, like, and he's got like spikes, like bony spikes coming out all over his body, and he's got like that perfect mix of badass and adorable.
Yeah, and he's camouflage.
Yeah, he's got camouflage pattern, and then he evolves into Mesa Bone, who's like this like terrifying like a dinosaur or with even more bony spikes all over its body.
And some of those spikes have more spikes on them.
Yeah, it's going all Gurren Lagann on us. And like for whatever reason, his claws are blue and yellow striped. I've never really got that, but it doesn't really detract from how awesome he is.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and he's got like his tail is one of the bony spikes covered in spikes.
Yeah.
Aches. And like he attacks like because he's got two horns on his head, and he attacks by like swinging his head upward, like not like a headbutt so much as trying to impale the opponent on his spikes, despite them being faced the other way. Mm-hmm. That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also got a really long neck, really sharp fangs. Yeah. It can fire energy beams.
Because why not?
Because Spectrobes. Mm-hmm.
Unnecessarily brutal attack because Spectrobes.
Yep. And then he evolves into his final form, Mesa Thorn, who is this giant camouflage dinosaur brontosaurus dragon thing with giant claws. Again, they're yellow and light blue stripes. They're still really weird. And has these two... it's got 4 relatively large spikes coming out from the side of its body. And then 2 even larger spikes coming off of its back.
Like, really fucking big.
Yeah, as well as some small horns on its face. And the way that it attacks, like in Beyond the Portals, is it raises up on its rear legs, slams its front feet down, and creates a shockwave of lava.
Jesus.
Just out of nowhere.
Fuck you.
Yep, and and its ultimate attack is it creates like a ball of energy in between its the 2 horns on the 2 big spikes on its back, and catapults it at its enemies.
Because Spectrobes.
Yep. And
Spectrobes
it's just
are weird.
yeah, and it's just like as soon as I saw this, because when I first heard about Spectrobes, like through the the little cards that were given through the National Geographic Kids, it's like I went onto the website and like just every day I would like go through the database, and the Mesa line was the literal last thing in the original database before they added all the new ones for Beyond the Portals. Mm-hmm. Well, so like, because it went straight, because like as soon as you hit Mesa Thorn and clicked next, it would send you straight back to Velar, who was number 1 in the database.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just so like whenever
Mesa fossils are also really hard to come by.
Oh yeah, they're difficult to find.
It's like one of the rarest Spectrobes.
Because you can only find them in like some ruins, like in like a satellite of some planet.
And even then, it's like a 1 in 5.
Yeah, they're hard to find. So when I found one, like I immediately put that put Mesa on my I evolved it and put Mesa Thorn on my team, and it took me through the rest of the game because it's also pretty late in the game when you finally get them. And it's just it served me well because it's also like it's got a pretty thin in physique, so it doesn't take hits too well, but it still hits like a truck.
Yeah.
I mean, it creates shockwaves of lava where there is no lava.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
You know what other Spectrobe can kind of do that?
Could it be your number one?
It could be. It's Don Giga.
Yeah, but I knew that one was coming.
Don, he doesn't make shockwaves, but he like stamps his feet. Basically, wherever Don Giga is basically a walking, spiky mountain.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a walking mountain covered in horns.
Mm-hmm.
And its basic attack is it stamps its feet, and a pool of lava just bubbles up around it.
Yep.
And it can also spit fireballs.
Yep. I like that line. I personally prefer Dongora over Don Giga.
I also really like Dongora because I like Dongo and Dongora as well because they're based on like rhinoceroses and triceratopses. Which Triceratops is my favorite dinosaur, and rhinos are like one of my favorite animals. So like, Rhino. As soon as I saw it, and also Dongo, was just also fucking cute.
Yeah, it's funny because
I saw Dongo and I was like, yes, like it rolls around.
Like Dongor, like when you like take it with you as your child Spectrobe, at least in Beyond on the Portals. It's like it doesn't walk. Like it's got these little legs, but it doesn't walk. It rolls around like a ball.
Yeah, it does that in all 3 games.
It's a shame. It's adorable to watch, but it's got a horrible search range.
Like 2?
Yeah.
It's awful.
But it doesn't matter because it's adorable.
Yeah. And then, also, I found out, I think it says it right on the... No, I forget where I saw it. But basically, someone, like, translated Don Giga's name. Like, it's Don Giga's root is, Don, the Italian word for a patriarch in the family, like head of the family.
Yeah.
And Latin, Giga, which is Latin for massive. So its name literally translates to large and in charge.
Yep. I mean, they are just... That whole line is terrifying.
It is terrifying, and I love it. It's
an
adorable rhino that turns into a badass triceratops that turns into a walking mountain.
That spits lava. And again, it's one of the few lines to have made it through all 3 games.
Yeah, I almost wish it didn't make it through all 3 games because I tried using it in Origins and it was actually kind of annoying. Because like the battle system in Origins is like it walks alongside you, but it's so slow. It was like always
unless you're doing
over here fighting, and it's like wait for me. And then and then it was like when I first used it, it was against like those raptor crawl, like the fastest crawl in the game.
Yeah.
So like they were all over it, and it was getting hit like every second. So it was like with its cry got really annoying really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the gripes that I had with Origins is that like in Beyond the Portals there were 2 combat styles. You could in the overworld you would fight like mini crawl as a Rollin, the main character. And then you could enter like these tornadoes that held like stronger crawl that you would play as the Spectrobes, which was really cool, like because you didn't get to play as the Spectrobes in the first game.
Yeah.
And then in the second game, they take that away and make it to where the only way you can play as Spectrobes is if you're player 2 in the co-op.
Yeah, that was not fun.
Yeah, especially since the camera was always focused on player 1.
Yep.
So player 2 could get lost in the...
It's not like it was a wide view of zoom out either. Like it was a relatively close-up view on the main character.
Yep. Yeah,
I really like Origins, but Beyond the Portals is top. It's the best of the 3.
Yeah. So, have you said everything you want to say about that line?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yep. So my number one is it's one of these Spectrobes, or one of the lines that only appeared in Beyond the Portals, which makes me so sad because it's such a cool line. And it is the line of Epoxyon, and which, like, Epoxyon is this, like, it's the evolved form of, it's the evolved, like, final part, and it is a giant bipedal spiky chameleon with big claws, and a tongue with, like, a sharp needle tip, and it just looks like it's a mix between Kecleon and Godzilla.
It's really awesome.
Yeah,
also, its child form, Masaccio, is adorable and made of leaves.
Yep. Yeah, because
Hapazoa is one of the really fucking weird ones.
Yeah, Hapazoa is really weird because it's like a mix between a like a chameleon and, like, a horse.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Hapazoa, to be honest. But
I like it.
Epoxyon are really cool.
Yeah, I like the whole line. And like Hapazoa or Hapacha is, like, really cute because it's like this weird little chameleon with these big old bug eyes,
covered in leaves.
Yep, and this big long tail. And it's like when you first, like, all of the child Spectrobes, when you first revive them from their fossil state, they have, like, a little animation, and Hapacha is him, like, vanishing and reappearing all over the screen because he's a little chameleon. And yeah, then Hapazoa is this weird chameleon horse thing that attacks with the horns on its head. I love this, but I do love the database description of Hapazoa. Now you see it, now you don't. This picky eater tries to act cool, but is actually pretty uptight.
What's that even mean?
I don't know. It's so random. But yeah, like Epoxyon is just so amazing. Like, being a chameleon, he's obviously not very fast. That's been a trend between both of us, really. Yeah, but, like, again, his basic attack is just, like, he attacks with his big old giant claws. And like, his ultimate attack actually gives him quite a bit of range because he attacks with his tongue. And it's just, yeah, that is and it deals pretty significant damage because it, like, pierces the crawl.
Oh yeah, that would do a lot of damage.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say about him. I really like him, but I just don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's, like, my thing with Donkey. Like, it's fucking,
Also, Epoxyon's a really cool name.
It is a cool name.
Yeah. And it's just, like, I love lizards and dinosaurs and all those things. Like, I have a pet gecko.
Yeah. There's no gecko spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah, but, yeah, like, and just the fact that there's one, like, you have, like, your lizard-like Spectrobes.
But no, like, full-on lizard spectrum, except for this guy.
Yep, and I was so sad that he didn't return for,
I could have very easily made him a plant properly.
Yeah. Like in Origins. And because he's just, and because he was only in Beyond the Portals, like, he wasn't one of them that appeared in
The original.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those random one-offs.
Yep. And he's also one of those that it was like, he's also kind of weird. Like, a chameleon isn't something you'd expect something like to be so fearsome.
Yeah.
But he's
fearsome.
Yeah, he's a big, terrifying, badass chameleon.
Alright.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
And if you have heard of, you've probably never played it.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
See you all next time.
See ya.